So, as you can tell, guys, we're not at the conference anymore. What happened with that autofocus?
Autofocus, though?
That camera's going crazy if you just tap on ourselves.
I love tapping myself.
So, basically, let's explain why we're back here.
Okay.
Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Y'all are brewheads? Yeah, we brewheads. So pour a glass of craft beer, we can do this. Yeah.
What's good, y'all? This is C Certified Brewhead.
And I'm Scott Beer Culver Enthusiast.
And welcome to episode 51 of Beer and Other Shit, the podcast. And, mate, this is something cool.
This is very exciting.
We are here. No, tell them.
Yeah,
tell them where we at.
2017 Canadian Brewers Awards and Conference.
Yes.
We're here in Ottawa.
Ottawa.
Nation's capital, so we're very excited to be here.
We're big fans of the city.
All the big brewers are here.
Yep.
All the big people in beer are here. And we're here.
We are here. So we're super stoked to be invited to be part of the media for the conference. So today is Saturday. Technically it's a third day.
Yes.
We got here yesterday. Scotty got here late last night, so I got to check out just the stadium party last night, which was just around the corner here. Pretty cool. They had it was held by Big Rig, so shout out to Big Rig. Got to meet a bunch of cool people. They were pouring a ton of incredible beers. I was driving, so I didn't get to partake as heavily as I would have liked.
Turned down for Ottawa.
Turned down. It's always turned down for everything. But that was super cool. So today, it's going to be a whole mashup of interviews, this podcast. So right now, we're about to watch a keynote with Steve Beau, who is I believe the co-founder of Beau's Brewery.
Beau's, yep.
So that's in a few moments. And then we're going to be chatting with, what was the gentleman's
Rob
name?
Engman?
Yep. Who is the president, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah, he said, what did he say? Yeah, I think so.
Of it's called TAPS Media.
President of TAPS Media, yeah.
So TAPS Media is the company who owns and runs both the Canadian Brewing Awards, and they actually purchased the Ontario Brewing Awards right after the last one.
And I believe they run the Toronto Beer Fest as well. Yeah, Toronto Festival of Beer, yeah.
Ah, cool. There you go. So these guys are pretty big in the beer game, so super stoked to be involved with them. And then this evening, so we're going to be sort of ducking out to do actual other podcasts and stuff, which you guys will hear after this one. But we are going to be, I believe, side of stage tonight. There's a gala award, so we're going to be like side of stage.
Interviewing all the winners as they come off.
That's
and talking to them about their big victory.
Yeah. So it's going to be something a little different. I guess it'll be closest to our Chambly podcast, like the one we did last year, where it was
like of everything, interviews from here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah,
throw it all together.
We're kind of just going to see how it goes. Like, normally we, as you guys know, we sit down for a solid couple hours and chat with, one or two people. So this will be a little different. It's going to be fun. We figured let's just try it out. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Cool, me too.
And this is cool. It's a really small thing. They got this like
water.
Canned water.
Sorry, yeah.
Canned water.
Yeah,
it's pretty gangster. I kind of like it. And it's just basically a advertisement for the packaging company, but they're sick.
Nice play, I like it.
Yeah, super cool, right? No, that's so weird to drink water out of a can, eh?
There's no hops in it though, right? It's
Unfortunately not. Just drinking water. Kind of boring.
Should be hop water.
That's not a bad idea. What if that's the thing? Don't steal it.
Don't mind.
Scott, stop it. All right, guys. So I guess we'll catch y'all with Rob. Cheers. All right, guys, so we're here with Rob Engman, who is the president of TAPS Media. How you doing, man?
Good, thanks. How are you guys?
Fantastic.
Very well, thank you.
Good.
So
Welcome to Ottawa.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Are you based out of here or are you based in Toronto?
No, we're actually based in Gravenhurst, Ontario.
Oh, of course.
I
With
was just up there.
Sawdust.
I was just up there in Sawdust last weekend for the Muskoka 2-4 Craft Beer Festival.
Right, yeah.
Which
How
was
was
awesome,
that?
actually in Huntsville. It was really nice. It was the second annual one. Beautiful day for it. Couldn't ask for better weather and
Great.
fantastic beer.
Yeah,
Great.
of course.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the event. This is amazing. This is our first time.
Thank you. Yeah, it's every year it's a bit of a nail biter leading up to it. As you can imagine, it's a lot of work, and every year we're in a different location. So, being that we're based out of Toronto, Gravenhurst. It's always lots of scout trips and finding the right venue and anticipating the growth from year to year is a little difficult because each year it does grow, right? So,
of course. How many years in are we now?
Well, the CBAs, it's the 15th annual CBAs, but we acquired TAPS and the CBAs 11 years ago. Okay. And at the time, the CBAs was just it was almost a Ontario competition. I think there were 85 entries, most of them from Ontario.
Right.
And it really wasn't operated the way we wanted it to go. So we've spent the successive years in building it, both in terms of entries and credibility and relevance to brewers. Mm-hmm. So I guess about 5 years ago, we decided, based on feedback from the brewing industry, that if it's going to be truly a Canadian inclusive event, we have to move it around to different regions of the country.
Of course.
And we started that in Montreal.
Yeah.
Then we went to Victoria. We've been to Fredericton. We've been to Richmond. We've been now Ottawa. We did Niagara Falls. So yeah, I mean we're moving it
all over.
Every year. We're on the hunt for a new locale, and tonight we get to announce next year's venue. So
is it a secret as of right now?
It is totally
a
a secret. I would have to get Jake to kill you. Yeah.
I'm scared of Jake, to be honest.
Yeah. We all are.
Well, this year, the 2017 Brewing Awards is the biggest one yet. I believe there's 1,700 entries this year.
Yes, the entries are up dramatically, and it's a little. Steve made mention of it in his keynote. We made a pretty big change in eligibility guidelines.
Yes.
This year, based on our own feelings, and they were all validated in a questionnaire we did to the craft brewing community, which was to make it a requirement that the entering breweries be majority Canadian owned.
Right.
And I will be quite upfront with you. The purpose of that was to exclude things like Bud Light winning a gold in the light lager category. Right. We didn't feel that had anything to do with Canadian beer, and we are not entirely happy with the practices of macro beer in Canada and how they limit the growth of the craft brewing industry. So we took a bold move. We lost a couple of sponsors, but we moved forward.
Worth it though, right?
Sorry?
It's worth the losing the sponsors for the sort of moral, like the integrity of the...
100%. The financial aspect aside, it was the right thing to do, and it was overdue, in my opinion. So.
Absolutely. Have you received much criticism or feedback over that at all?
Well, we've received some criticism from the predictable places, but the criticism was far outweighed by the overwhelming endorsement. I think it was 92% of respondents to the questionnaire.
We're okay with it?
Yeah, we're okay with it. And we just acquired the Ontario Brewing Awards.
Yes, that was
we're going to ask you about
which
that,
is very exciting for us.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we're going to do the same outreach to all Ontario brewers and ask some very pointed questions about, what they want to see different and improved. And my suspicion is that'll be on the agenda.
Okay. Awesome. And what's the purpose of the Canadian Brewing Awards versus like the Ontario one? Is there much of a crossover, or is it kind of like a provincial pride? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I think there are other regional provincial awards. The Ontario Brewing Awards has been a going concern for a number of years. When the opportunity presented itself for us to take it over from its current owners, who run the Toronto Festival of Beer, they had found that it was more of a distraction from their core business, and they approached us because of the track record we had at the CBA, and really it's just duplicating another event. I mean, we have all of the infrastructure in place. We have the judging. We have the beer management system as it comes in. We have the staff, so really we're just kind of imprinting the CBA model onto the OBAs.
Is the OBA a traveling show as well, or is that kind of a central?
Well, you know what? That's one of the discussions that's going to take place after this. We're going to have a postmortem on the CBAs and a initial planning session on next year's OBAs. Everything's on the table, and we hope that those answers will come from the brewers.
Okay.
So we'll ask them, do they want to see the OBAs move around or always be in Toronto?
Right.
So it's totally up to them.
Yeah. And what do we have to look forward to tonight for the gala? Like, is there anything you want to say about that?
Well,
I
know what I look forward to. I look forward to the last award being handed out, so I can actually start drinking.
Yes, exactly.
But no, it's. I mean, as you know, we live webcast the event for the people who aren't able to attend, and people just go to CanadianBrewingAwards.com and click on the link, and they can be virtually there. And I know there's a lot of beer laden celebrations that are planned throughout the country for folks who can't be here tonight.
Amazing.
But I think the most important aspect of the awards is recognizing excellence in Canadian brewing. It's always a surprise who's winning. The methodology for becoming Brewery of the Year, as you may know, is people have to pick 4 of the beers they enter. They can enter a maximum of 12, but they choose 4 that they feel are their strongest submissions in the category. So it's a little bit toss of the dice there, because if all 4 of those beers medal and medal high enough, the total point score will go to deciding who the Brewer of the Year is.
Right.
And we call that, I will share something internal with you, we call that the Mill Street rule internally.
Okay.
Because years ago, when Mill Street was still eligible to enter, they would enter shit tons of beer. Like, they would brew beers that specifically for the awards to win.
Right.
And for 3 years in a row, that strategy worked for them, because they won Brewery of the Year 3 years in a row. We felt
Cheeky.
it was a little, cheeky, but,
It works.
You
Yeah.
play to win,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You can't take that away from them.
Well played.
So the Mill Street rule was enacted to sort of get brewers to put their money where their mouth is. If they really feel strongly about the 4 that they identify, then they've put their best foot forward, right? So
Amazing. That's great.
Yeah.
Man, Rob, I'll let you get back to it, brother.
Yeah.
Thank
hey,
you so much for
great
your time.
talking to you guys.
Yeah,
Thanks for
likewise.
coming out.
Thanks
I hope
so
you
much.
enjoy yourselves
Looking
tonight.
forward to the gala
Yes.
later.
Right on.
tonight.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
So, as you can tell, guys, we're not at the conference anymore. What happened with that autofocus?
Autofocus though?
That camera's going crazy if you just tap on ourselves.
I love tapping myself.
So, basically, let's explain why we're back here.
Okay.
So, we were at the conference. We spoke with Rob, as you
Yes,
saw.
this morning.
And then we went back and we were all set up, ready to do the what's it called? The step and repeat and
Yes.
talk to all the winners. We were supposed to talk to the winners as they got off the stage.
In our head, it all made perfect sense.
Perfect sense. And I just actually looked at the footage and it was
Terrible.
trash.
Absolutely.
So basically, what we did, we had the camera set up, and we had the mic, and basically the idea was we were to grab people and be like, "Oh, so how do you feel?" Like, and ask them a couple of questions. And
Well, it had been explained to us as we were step number 3. So step number 1,
get the rule.
get the award, receive the
stage.
award on stage.
Yep.
Step 2, step off stage, have your photo taken. Step 3, quick interview. Step 4,
Dipset.
back to your table.
That's
so
it.
the whole idea was, okay, every recipient will come off the stage. We'll have a quick little chat, chin wag with them, talk about the win, ask them a funny question, on to the next. However, the way it actually went down was they called all 3 bronze, silver, and gold up at the same time, and literally as soon as one category stepped off the stage, the next one was being called up. So by the time they had their picture taken and were walking back to their table,
There's like 15
there was like 15 people like just
every time.
everywhere. So like in theory it was a great idea.
Yeah.
But the execution wasn't there because it just didn't go
They
down how
would
we
have had to
expected.
have been like ushers, like funneling
Right.
people through. And it just wasn't that kind of party. So we're like, we based this entire episode 51 podcast around that. And we're like, we did the intro, as you saw, we did the interview with Rob, and now we're like, fuck, what do we do?
Okay, so we're gonna have to do something to make this a
Yeah.
podcast.
So basically what we did was we went live on Facebook. So I guess by the time you guys see this, it's going to be a little while after the fact. So you would have been able to check the Facebook Live video. So we figured we'd go live and we did some live commentary and we
That's
started
actually
having
pretty
some
fun.
drinks. It was like a lot of fun.
Yeah,
It was cool.
yeah.
Just kept flipping between, like following it and like.
and hopefully you get to check it out. I mean, you can watch Facebook Live after.
Yeah,
It's
you can.
already
Oh, it's
been-
all saved. It'll be all in our playlist. We'll have a playlist on the.
So if you want to
page.
feel like you're at the CBAs,
check it out.
check us out. I mean, it'll already be long gone. by
It's
then,
already,
I guess.
yeah. It was a
anyways.
few months ago.
Yeah.
By the time you guys see this, so we decided to just hang out, and then we just like ended up politicking with some brewery people, some business folks, some other fellow media people. Met a bunch of people we've been talking to on the internet, so that was a good time. And we had a few of the drinks that had some crazy.
Oh my god.
So the thing that made the most sense right now when we were trying we have to finish episode 51 was they have a CBA's a beer specifically made for the
Yes.
festival. And this year it was called Slideway, and it's a Roche Maybach, and it's a collab between BAOS and Side Launch. So what we did, we got a couple of bottles.
few bottles.
Multiple bottles, because...
It was a free-for-all. So
man, it was out of control.
Yeah.
That was a room full of motherfuckers who get free shit
Oh
all the time,
my
and no
God.
one gave a fuck.
no one cared. They're like, oh yeah. Because they get sent cases all the time. So, point being, these were handed out when you walked into the CBA, the 2017 CBAs. You received one of these called Slideway, which is a side launch BAOS collab. Like Craig mentioned, it's a Rausch Maybach. So you got a glass and one of these beers as you walked in. Also, there was a little bin of ice and beer sitting on each table of a whole bunch of the, award-winning beers of the night. Not to mention, at the end of the night, when you're walking out, you're like, oh, there's like 12 of these still sitting on the table. So we grabbed a few more on the way out.
So we figured we're going to take a couple home.
Why not?
Maybe age a couple.
Age one, have one tonight, take a couple home, give a couple away. They were literally just sitting everywhere at the end of the night. So
Yeah, it was...
we haven't tried this yet, actually.
No,
So
which is why we thought it was actually literally perfect, because this is the beer of the night. We're going to tell you guys about our experience.
we're going to talk about the night, talk about
And
the
we'll drink-
2017 CBAs. We're going to drink the beer of the
Of the
2017.
evening, right?
Yeah, okay.
So, so this is in a BAOS bottle. So, as you can tell,
Obviously.
if you're pretty clear with all of their branding and everything with side launch, so I guess it was sort of brewed at BAOS. So, it says that they teamed up with the reason why. So, BAOS, because I guess in Ottawa, they were, and Steve Beaugens, or whatever, however you say it, gave the keynote.
Yes.
So, then what I'm saying, I'm sorry if I cut you off,
No,
but
no.
basically... I'm assuming that Steve, because BAOS is like the Ottawa one, they got to give the keynote because they're the biggest brewery in
Sure.
the area. That side launch was the brewery of the year 2016.
That's what I was gonna say.
It just says this right
Yeah.
here. And that's why they did the collab.
Exactly.
It's a smoky German style Rausch. How do you say it? Rausch?
Rausch.
Rausch,
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
bad. Rausch Maybach. To commemorate this year, Velvety Smoked Malt Lager. It's the 5th in a series that BAOS will brew with friends across the nation to honor Ottawa 2017, which I guess is the Canadian 150th birthday.
Yes, which is part of the reason why the CBAs were in Ottawa this year, because it's Canada's 150th anniversary. And actually, you'll probably already know by now, but next year's CBAs are going to be, because it's a traveling show,
Yes.
are going to be in Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Folks.
So I'm planning on being there. I've never been to the East
Never.
Coast, and that's a great excuse for me to go there.
Push the whip, or
Push
you take
the-
a train or something like that, maybe?
I'd like to drive. I'd like to do the drive, to be honest. It's
Like
not even
18
that.
hours.
I don't think it is that long.
That's what Shane told me, my boy.
From Montreal?
Yeah. Or from Toronto, maybe.
Maybe from Toronto, but
As far as tits.
yeah, I thought it was like
scared. Like,
yeah.
do you know what we could do if we did that? We could go past like Gaspésie, which is like Orval, Pit Caribou, and stuff. There's a bunch
Absolutely,
of like Eastern
like
Quebec breweries.
Quebecois up.
Oh, wow. It's got to be a call.
Anyways, so let's get into this.
Get this in your face.
Get it inside of you.
Okay.
Do you know what?
That's fine.
The smoke is so toned down, which for you probably love that.
Yeah, I'm not a smoky beer.
I like it even smokier, but this is. Do you know what?
My box are cool. Sweet. Caramel.
I can't say I've had much
7%,
like this.
it's
I'm
like-
almost yeah.
Like subtle.
There's like a subtle like campfire smokiness to it. It's not like. There's almost like a I want to compare it to Barley Days smoked meat beer. There's like a smoked meat feel
And
to
we
it.
talked to
You
Homeboy
need to have
tonight,
this
actually.
beer. It's funny because we talked to Barley Days today, and he was like, we talked to. And I told him, I'm like, man, I really liked your smoked meat beer. And he's like, oh, that fucking beer. He was like, not happy, but I'm assuming it was a logistical nightmare to make.
I can imagine. We didn't
Like,
really get to get into it,
no,
unfortunately.
But I thought it was phenomenal. He was not crazy about it, which is kind of just funny to hear because I was like,
We'll do the podcast with him in
Yes.
August, and we'll find out. What
but
the
this
deal
gives me, I'm getting notes of that, like that kind of like, there's a
Similar
smoked,
vibe,
yeah, like a pepperette smoked, yeah.
is. Okay. Yeah, I don't mind.
This is cool. This is a little out of the
interesting.
ordinary. It's interesting.
Yeah, I guess I don't drink beers like this too much, and like I feel like I don't know about you, but I've kind of like really lately like stuck to things I prefer. Like we've still got a fridge right here. We're here in the Airbnb, by the way, in Ottawa. Where
We're just in
crashing,
someone's house.
which is super weird, man.
This is my first Airbnb experience as well.
How do you feel about it?
I slept in a child's bed last night.
I think you're sleeping in a child's bed again tonight.
I'm gonna sleep in a child's bed again tonight. I'm like, so when
It's
I
a little
walked
weird.
in, I almost turned around and left.
Wow.
Like it freaked me out.
Yeah.
But like I'm kind of feeling like it's kind of a little bit like home now. It's like
It's like
there is
staying
more
at
of a
friend's
homey
house.
feel. Yeah, it's like staying at, but like when you first walk in, it's like staying at your friend's house that you don't know.
Yeah,
But now
that's
I'm
a
like,
great
right?
comparison.
But like now I'm like, I'm cool with it. Like, it's kind of my
Met
crib.
the
Like I want
chick,
to invite people over and be like, yo,
come
come
kick
through, yeah, come
Yeah,
kick it. We have
yeah.
some beer. We got beers in the fridge. Come on.
No, don't worry about it. I'm chilling. Ottawa.
So, anyways, yeah. What was your overall experience? So,
So should we talk through the day?
Yeah, let's break it down.
Or maybe do that.
let's break it down.